given, your status on this team as a leader and the progression you guys have made over the years and the way this season played out going into this off season, do you feel personally that you want to have a bigger voice, in some of those conversations that go forward with things like the roster building and kind of getting towards that championship level on that end?
I feel like our organization's done a pretty good job of including us in some of the stuff that's going on, and their vision on how we can potentially get there. And I think we will. I think Zach's very motivated to make that happen, and we'll see what the next steps are.
The team had high expectations and get off to a good start, obviously. At the trade deadline, the team's moves were more about subtraction than addition. Mm-hmm. How did that impact, if at all, team morale, or how did the team sort of respond to that?
It's a business, I mean, obviously Marcus and Jake, were two people that, meant a lot to us and, are big parts of what we had going on. But, you gotta keep going. Jake had a good run in Sacramento afterwards, but we had a pretty close-knit group, and I thought we did the most we could with all the changes that came through the season.
Des, what does this team need to do for next year to get back to where you were when you were the second seed in February? What does this team need now?
I think look ourselves in the mirror. Not only the team, but organizationally, and see how we can move forward.
There's along those same lines. Do you guys feel now that you guys have been together for 5 years that this isn't a young and up and coming team anymore? This is where you guys have to really sort of live up to that expectation, even the ones that you guys set for yourself.
For sure. I mean, we won one playoff series, over the course of our time here, and we were that young, fun team. It was kind of up and coming, but like you said, expectations are here, and it's a reality, and we came up short, and we got to be better.
Des in the back, from the 14 games you had under him, would you want to see Tuamas as the permanent head coach?
I really like Tomas. I like what he brings to the table. Very direct, honest, accountable. Like, he holds guys accountable. I think he's a very bright mind too. I think he has a bright future as a head coach.
As part of, getting bounced out of the first round is going to be scrutiny and criticism, and I'm just curious how you will digest the conversations that may come on the outside about whether or not this core is good enough to, make it to where you're championship contenders.
I think that before you have conversations with anybody else, you got to look yourselves in the mirror, and reflect on a season that we had, and what's come of it, and continue to work and put the time in and keep marching towards that.
Going off of that, you've taken kind of these leaps each year. What's some key areas of emphasis for you in this offseason as you kind of try to take that next leap for yourself?
I think it's defensively, that and handling pressure, on the offensive end, physicality. Teams throwing a bunch of different looks at me, but defensively for sure. I mean, all the really good teams, in the playoffs are good on that end, and that's an area that we used to hang our hat on, and something that we're going to need if, we want to bring a championship here to Memphis.
Des, first of all, congratulations on your new arrival, and how stressful was that for you down there at the last part of the season, knowing that it was imminent and you still had to keep playing?
Yeah, it was different. Every season's unique. But yeah, definitely leaving for OKC. With my old lady being due at any day was tough. But our support staff here is great, And, you know, they made sure that I would have been able to still make the birth of my child, you know, regardless of circumstances. So I was able to be there after game 2. So thankful for that they were able to make that happen.
Oh, what is kind of you know, of course you guys will go away and do your own things over the course of summer, but what's the approach this off season in terms of, I guess, kind of reconnecting with your teammates over the course of the off season?
Yeah, I think that's very important. Some area that we probably fell short in, you know, up to this point. I think that we're gonna need to get together and just kick it for real. Be around each other while also working, having conversations about what we want the season to look like, how we're gonna approach it. So then once September comes and training camp rolls around, it's we hitting the ground running, you know, versus trying to build and build and build. And I think it'll be important.
How does the hunger coming out of this season, where you guys were the 2 seed up until the end of February, and then everything went downhill? How does that compare to coming out of last year, where nothing went right and you guys were super injured and didn't really have a chance to compete at all?
I mean, it's never easy. You know, this feeling sucks. Season being over, feeling like we had more to give and you know, more basketball in front of us, but. Yeah, it was a tough year to say the least.
And kind of going back to what I just asked you, at any point during this season when you reflect, do you feel like maybe Taylor lost the team, or maybe there was more of a disconnect when you guys talk about the defensive urgency and intensity and things like that? Like, was there ever a point in time where those things weren't as connective internally with the team as they have been, you know, in recent years?
I think so. You know, there was definitely a point in the season where we just weren't competing with the urgency that we needed to. You know, but I don't think all that falls on Taylor. You know, there's so much different stuff going on within team dynamics and stuff like that you know, start to rear their head. So I don't think all that can fall on him, but there was definitely a point in time when we weren't playing to the level that we needed to.
Ja was in here earlier, and he said that he felt like before his injury in Game 3, he felt like he was figuring things out against Oklahoma City, and he felt like the series could have changed or shifted, you know, before the injury. Do you share the same feeling, like the lead you guys had in Game 3 and everything? Did you feel like this thing was getting turned around and maybe, you know, things could have been different, you know, before the injury?
Definitely. I mean, we definitely played with a great sense of urgency in that first half of Game 3. And you know, I mean, losing that lead in that game stung for sure. And even Game 4, you know, I thought we came out and competed and kept it close. But him going down, you know, definitely had a big impact on the series.